Welcome to the podcast. My name is Kanola Gatwa, and I welcome you to the Conversations Cave podcast. This time we have decided to do something different from what we are used to. We are used to doing audio versions of the podcast, but it's about time now we try doing you know, the video part of this podcast. We have been going on well with our audio version on Spotify, where we've been talking about different things. But there's something that I've been working on, and I think it's about time that I share some of the things that, you know, I think they're important, especially when it comes to uh, unmasking fear and the quest of identity. Many people have been limited by fear. Many people have dreams and there are things that they want to achieve, but because of the amount of the fear that they have, or because of the fear that they feel from deep within themselves, they're not in a position to achieve all the dreams and all the things that they want to achieve. Another thing is the fact that people don't really know who they are. People are struggling with identity, and fear and identity, or the quest of identity, there is some connection between the two that will be unmasking. As I said in the episode where we are talking about fear, we talked about how fear is limiting, how fear triggers or encourages discouragement, how fear, brings about procrastination and all the things that, uh, you know, intertwined with fear. And one of the things that we really need to understand is that when we're talking about fear, it's not just, people might think it's just fear wholesomely. But there are few forms of fear that I would like us to just go through them. We're not going to discuss. As I have said, there's something that, I've been working on, something that is 90%, done. And once it's out, I will be able to share it with you. So there's one form of fear called phobia, and this is the fear of specific objects, situations, or activities. I think many of us are conversant with that one. The fear of specific objects. There are people who are afraid of height. There are people who are afraid of closed spaces. There are people who are afraid of activities such as hiking and stuff. And there are people who are also afraid of situation. The other form of fear is anxiety disorders. This basically is uncontrollable worry about a wide range of issues. We will be talking more about this when we are talking about the mental health, and we shall be talking about the anxiety disorders and everything. So that is basically the uncontrolled worry about a wide range of issues. Number three is existential fear. Existential fear is fear that revolves around fundamental questions of existence, meaning, and mortality. There are people who are afraid of why um, why am I on earth? Why am I, or why was I born? Why do I go through the things that I go through? There are people who are basically worried about the meaning of their existence in the world. We'll be talking deep about existential fear right here on the podcast, and also on the material that I am working on. The other thing is the fear of failure. I mean, everyone. I mean, in 10 people, I believe 9 of them, they're afraid of failure. They're afraid of falling short of expectations, or not meeting their own expectations and the expectations of others. So people walk around with that fear in themselves or in their heart. Fear to fail in business, fear to fail in relationship, fear to fail in ministry, fear to fail in friendship. I mean, the fear of failure is quite something that is bothering a lot of people, and I believe most of the people who have the fear of failure, one thing they struggle with is procrastination, and the other thing is taking steps towards overcoming that fear. Many of them are still, caught up, or they are being imprisoned by the fear of failure, that they're afraid to begin something, they're afraid to start up businesses, friendships, relationship, ministry things. I mean, this is something we're gonna have fun talking about. The other one is the fear of rejection. And let me tell you guys, the fear of failure and fear of rejection, man, many people, especially in our generation, and they're afraid of failure and being rejected. This is disapproval and abandonment by others. If you walk around, or if you even go through social media, you will hear or you see a lot of people doing stuff, just to have or to feel, there are people around them that love them, people who approve them, people who show them love. Why? Because if you go down their history, you will see that there is some aspects of the fear of rejection. The other form of fear is fear of the unknown, how tomorrow will be, and I believe many people struggle with this. How will the next step or the next phase of my life will be? How will I be able to do ABCD? Will there be success or failure? So that is the fear of unknown. The other thing is the fear of loss. Everyone fears that someday they will lose something, someone, or have fear to lose things that they are entitled, or things that really mean a lot to them. The other form of fear is acute fear. I mean, every one of us has this kind of fear that rises in response to immediate tangible threats and danger. Whenever there is a threat, whenever there is a prompt of danger or something, there is that fear that really holds us. These are some of the things that we'll be talking about when you're talking about unmasking fear and the quest of identity. And I believe we're going to have fun and also be able to learn a lot, even as we discuss these particular forms of fear in details. The other thing is identity. One of the things, or one of the major struggles, especially to the young people, is identity. People are really struggling with identity, and the question that many people up to this point are not able to answer is, who are you? People talk about identity in form of masculinity, in form of societal identity, or how the society identifies you. But when you sit down and you are asked this question, who are you, without the accolades, the titles and everything, not many people who are in touch with themselves, or who are self-aware enough of who they are and what it is that makes them as individuals. So that is something that is that we're going to really talk about. And one of the things that can help us unmask the quest of identity is people who are self-aware, people who are in touch with their emotion, people who are in touch with their mind, their physical body, people who are in touch with their beliefs, people who are in touch with their aspiration, inspiration, and all those things. So we have a lot of stuff to learn, we have a lot of things to unmask, and my request to you is to subscribe, to follow the channel, join the conversation, just share this with friends. Let us unmask a lot of things that affect us both internally and externally. Thank you so much for your time. I've been yours truly, Kanotha Gatua. Up until next time, thank you so much. Goodbye. God bless.